What is going on, Amazon sellers? Happy Friday. Happy end of the work week. Happy beginning of the work weekend. I hope that you guys have all had a pretty kick-ass week. First week of February, and Returnuary is over. So hopefully returns are down. Hopefully sales are up, just like Amazon's earnings reports. Those were solid. Maybe the first time ever that Amazon has gross revenues higher than Walmart's. They reported 187.8 billion, and Walmart is expected to report 180 billion in gross revenue during the fourth quarter. So it's going to be very interesting what happens. I'm glad that you guys are all here. Welcome to How to Sell on Amazon Ask Me Anything, which is the daily show where we take your questions about Amazon, online arbitrage, Keepa, wholesale, you name it. We will give you a hand. So, Jeff, happy Friday, man. What's up, Luke? Glad to have you here. Hey, Amar. Jill, thank you. I went out and I think I spent like $10 on that to make sure I had the license for it. What's going on, Paulie? Yes, Chris. Absolutely. Thank God it's the work weekend. I agree. Let's see here. Jeff Roth, the interview with Paul Rafelson you did with Chris is definitely a must listen. Jeff, I appreciate that. As soon as we hung up the call with Paul, we looked at each other, across the screens, and we both thought that it would be really, really good. If you have not seen it yet, that is posted up on YouTube. You should go check it out. I have emailed it out once already. It's going to go again in my weekly newsletter, which is going to be a little delayed. And it's been posted on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere. So go check it out. It is definitely worth the 2-hour listen. We dive deep into some really interesting topics. Hey, Andre, what's going on? Collared shirt alert. Chris had to go to court or something. Fortunately, no court for me. No, just trying something new a little bit. I don't know if anybody's ever read 48 Laws of Power, but just trying something a little new. Let's see here. I dig the music too. Feel like some Savage 21 be a more fitting intro. I'll tell you what. So a good friend, Richard, he's actually a DJ here in Florida. Him and his wife Sabrina are incredible people. They're also Amazon sellers. And I have been remiss in getting back to him, but he actually sent me over 2 samples of custom music that he created for me. And I am going to get with him and buy something because they are really, really good. One of them said my name a little too much. I thought it was maybe a little self-serving. So I want to change that up a little bit, but I am going to buy something from him because it was excellent. Like a club banger. All right. So if Amazon's earning a lot more, that has 100% got to me. They are going to start doing profit sharing with their sellers. I wish. All right. I'll tell you what, if you guys have questions, make sure to drop them in the chat. Want to make sure to get your guys' questions answered. I did promise that we could look at Flip Alert a little bit today so that you guys can see how that works. If you're interested, I could do a quick 5-minute intro into Flip Alert. It's a great software that's out there and available. I've even got I might have a discount code or something. I know I've got an affiliate link, but Saul created something really nice here, and I figured I'd go over it with you guys. Okay, Amar. Hey, Chris, came across a seller who has more than 3 accounts, all listing the same ASIN with over 1,000 units. Some of these accounts have only a few reviews, while one has more than 1,000. How should I report this? So, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how you go about reporting that. Maybe you could open up a case with seller support and let them know there and see if they even do anything about it. But there, I have heard rumors, and this is just a rumor. I cannot verify this, but if they happen to be a seller from China, let's say, I have heard rumors that they have been taught this method to open multiple seller accounts. Now, I don't know how you know that it's exactly the same seller. If it is, if it's different storefront names with the exact same address, then maybe there's something a little shady going on there. If it's a if it's just the exact same seller, if it's I sell on Amazon and then I sell on Amazon, I sell on Amazon, and they're just in three different fulfillment methods, that's another thing. They may not be breaking Amazon terms of service in that case. You can list on the same ASIN as many times as there are ways to list. You could send in 1,000 units FBA. You could list 1,000 units FBM. You could, I think you could list 1,000 units seller fulfilled prime, I believe, because that would be a different disposition. You could list 1,000 units as used, 1,000 units as collectible, and those would all be okay within Amazon terms of service. So you probably want to do a little bit more research in there. Hey, Najim Deal Hunter, can a brand give IP complaints in one of their listings, but not the others? I found this listing with only 2 sellers, and when I checked their other listings, they have 15 other sellers. They can. Brands can do whatever they want. Brands could absolutely say, hey, you know what? We're only going to send out IP complaints against these certain sellers. They could say, we're going to put out IP complaints on certain listings, etc. But you may just be overthinking it. If you don't see any sharp drop offs in the number of sellers, it may just be that nobody's found that particular listing for some reason and only 2 sellers are on it. Yeah, like Dre says here, he's got FBM and FBA offerings on a listings. No issues there. That is totally within Amazon terms of service. It is no issue whatsoever. Clint, tactical arbitrage thoughts these days. Know you were a big supporter in the past. Still am. We just actually got over in the OA challenge 2 straight days of using tactical arbitrage. We did my favorite last night, which was reverse search. That happens to be my favorite way to use tactical arbitrage. But if you want to automate your sourcing, tactical arbitrage is still the best tool available, in my opinion. Do I know of other competitors? Yes. Are there some that are doing a good job in trying to be competitive with tactical arbitrage? I think so. Are there others that are not good at all? Yeah, absolutely. And I also know that they are fervently working on tactical arbitrage. And one of the nice things is they are very open to feedback. I actually gave them some feedback just yesterday, and they are looking into it very, very quickly. So I've got to give them a lot of credit there. They're very open to feedback and making things better. But if you are looking for some sort of automation, I would absolutely use tactical arbitrage. Now, saying that, it is not one or the other. You should not say, hey, if I get tactical arbitrage, that's going to be a press button way for me to make profits. No, you need to still go out and Google every product. See if you can find it somewhere cheaper. See if you can find a better coupon code. See if you can see a place on page 2, on page 3 of Google that other people aren't looking. There's still some manual labor that needs to be done, in my opinion. Richie, account got shut down for section 3. Has every seller you've come across with this shut down for similar reasons? Am I completely out of luck if I don't have invoices for something and that's the reason? So it is going to be awful difficult to get your account back if you don't have receipts, invoices, some sort of good trail for what you purchased. If it is the section 3, you get the inbound shipping suspension, you're not like deactivated right yet. uh, Amazon is obviously trying to make sure that the supply chain is nice and clean, for one reason or another. And that's where these Section 3s are coming from, to make sure that you're buying legitimate inventory. If you cannot show them that you've bought that inventory from a legitimate place, then yeah, it's very possible that you're going to get suspended, and that's going to be difficult to come back from. I won't say impossible, but at that point, I'm probably looking for outside help. Yes, this is correct. You can absolutely have multiple accounts, but you can't list the same ASINs on both accounts. You are absolutely right, AMZ with me. However, there are a lot of brand owners. I know of one in particular, for sure, and I won't, and I can't say their name, but they have, their main account, and then they've got a lot of other accounts that they sell the exact same products on as a backup to their account getting suspended. Corey, CG, listen to your podcast with the lawyer from Seller Basics, which was fantastic. Thank you very much. Is it really true that counterfeit with a test buy tends to be a death sentence on your account? These days, it seems to be that way. And his reasoning makes sense. Now, I would imagine, is there a way you could get back? I would imagine yes, there probably is. Maybe you need to talk with someone at Amazon. Maybe you need to, uh, get in with one of the lawyers at Amazon, something like that. I would imagine there is a way back, but it's probably going to be a serious uphill battle, a Sisyphean task, if you will. Borrowed that one from Chris Rasick. Um, it's going to be rather difficult because, and the reasoning was, if someone does a test buy and then files that counterfeit complaint, Amazon kind of thinks, well, obviously they've taken this to a lab, they've tested it, they realize that it's absolutely counterfeit. Fortunately, it doesn't seem to be something that happens very frequently, but it is one of those possibilities. Hey, Ting, happy Friday. We had an IP complaint back in August. We tried to reach out to the owner, but got no response from the brand. We showed the receipt from the store to Amazon. It was never solved. What's the best way to solve it? Was this a counterfeit without a test buy? And yes, Corey, I would agree that this could be a loophole that brands could exploit. However, I would imagine that if brands decided to exploit that loophole, that it would probably end up blowing up in their face over time. If they did it to enough people, someone or several people are probably going to sue. I don't know. I don't know if it would be defamation. I don't know. I don't know what it would be exactly, but you would have a case on your hands there for them lying. So I do think there'd be a case for that there. Hey, Crazy Jimmy, what's going on? Listen to the audiobook The Gambler you mentioned, and it was very good. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Next up for me, I think, is going to be it's going to be the book on uh JFK's dad. I think Joe Kennedy was his name, Joseph Kennedy. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Um, what is it called here? The Patriarch is what it's called. The Remarkable Life and Turbulent Times of Joseph P. Kennedy. I've actually got that on Audible, or I got the audiobook right now. If I'm not mistaken, okay, and don't quote me on this, but if I'm not mistaken, Joseph Kennedy actually made a lot of his money through the stock market, doing some things that were, by today's standards, illegal. And then once he did them and made his money, ended up helping create the SEC. So that one's looking real interesting. Again, don't hold me to that. Najim, any updates on the deal coming up, bundling, tactical arbitrage, inventory lab, etc.? Man, I hope I'm allowed to say this. It's coming soon. Okay. I am customer number one, numero uno. I was able to get onboarded to it today. I did it on the phone or on a call with people from Three Colts as a test, just to see how things went. So it is coming very, very soon. I do not have a date. I don't know when it's going to be exactly, but it is almost there. Jay Tyndall was watching the replay for Tactical Arbitrage last night and working on my OA. There are definitely some features locked. Yeah, there are definitely features locked. I've got the full suite version of Tactical Arbitrage for sure. Oh, nice, Luke. Yeah, I'm a Robert Greene fan. I know a lot of people think he's no good. I think he's interesting. Hey Artem, what's going on, man? Good to see you. All right, Assad. A while ago, Keepa's each drop meant one or more sales, but now I see less drops and more sales. Is there any change recently regarding Keepa drops? So you say that a while ago, each Keepa drop meant one or more sales. That has never been the case. Whoever you got that information from was 100% wrong. Okay. And I'll tell them to their face. I don't care who it is. They're 100% wrong. And I can show you based on data. Matter of fact, I've got a whole 10-minute YouTube video about it. And I can show you the documentation directly from Keepa that states that Keepa drops do not equal sales. It's never been that way. Okay. So there has not been any changes regarding Keepa drops. It's just they've never ever meant that. It is very frustrating that people still teach that because it's just never been true. Any free PDF editors you can recommend? That's a great question. I would probably, I think you can edit one PDF on smallpdf.com. You might also try openpdf.com. Those would do it. Canva has a free PDF editor. I've never used it. And Adobe also says they have a free one. And those are all big names there. Ting, it was suggested counterfeit, but not a test buy. We bought from TJ Maxx. I didn't take a pic, as you mentioned yesterday. Goods next to the receipt, but on the receipt has our company name on it. So without that picture, it could be difficult. But what you may want to do is you might want to go into the store with your receipt and ask if they can pull up the product in their inventory management system based on the store SKU and take a picture of their scan gun next to the receipt. This has worked in the past for TJ Maxx receipts. All right. So that may help. And then I would send in the receipt along with whatever other evidence you can. I would send in a copy of the credit card statement. I would send in maybe, um, yeah, I'd send in a copy of the credit card statement you used to buy the item with. That's probably all you're going to be able to do since it was from TJ Maxx. College for Keepa must be expensive. Well, if you're talking about Keepa Academy, we keep that thing pretty cheap, Kenny. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Uh, Shortly, can you tell us what Keepa Drops tells us? Yeah, it tells you the average number of times per month over the last 90 days that Keepa has recorded a sales rank drop. But there's a lot of nuance that goes into that. Okay. The nuance is that Keepa does not update it's not up to the minute. Sometimes it's not even hourly when they update that. Okay. So that means that it's not always granularly accurate. Okay. It's just grabbing the drops whenever. The other thing is that Amazon only adjusts sales rank once an hour. Okay. So and that's based on recency and frequency of sales. Sales rank also takes into account historical sales, but those are not as they're not weighted the same as current sales. And then other things happen too. All right. Now, the other thing that happens is sales happen even when the sales rank goes up. So if something goes from rank number 1 to rank number 10 over the course of an hour, that doesn't mean that it stopped selling over that hour. It just means that it sold slower than the 9 other items that jumped in front of its place. That's it. So if rank number 1 was selling 500 units an hour and it drops to 400 units an hour, but ranks 2 through 9 stay at 450 units per hour, then those drop down, okay? And the rank number 1 shoots up to number 10. Okay? So it's much more nuanced. Artem with the save here. PDF Exchange Editor. It's pretty good. Any updates on FinCEN or the beneficial ownership information with the Financial Crime Enforcement Network? As of right now, nothing. They're still not requiring it. It's still kind of locked up at the moment. All right, I'm going to fly through these last couple of questions, and then we're going to need to run here. Deal Hunter, is the estimated sales on Seller Amp combining all variations or just the particular ASIN we are browsing? Well, those estimated sales come directly from Amazon themselves. Seller Amp. I'm sorry. I'm not 100% sure. To be honest, I'm not sure if Seller Amp's sales estimates are for the variation or for the top level ASIN. I'll need to double check. I'm sorry. I'm not sure. Flamingo, are you guys at least trying to buy stuff in 5s, or is that a waste of time and energy? I think it's probably a waste of time and energy. Like Luke says, too many adjustments, too many order adjustments, too many cancellations. There are stock problems. You never know if something's going to come in busted. I think we're just going to have to accept as arbitrage sellers that we're going to be paying inventory placement fees, and that's the way it's going to go. Thank you, Chris. Do you have any in-person meetups such as Wizards of Ecom? I don't. Not at this time. I have thought about doing something. I could not do something like he does down there at Wizards of Ecom. I don't know why his name is Carlos. I couldn't do anything like Carlos does. Guy is a baller. But I have thought about doing something quarterly maybe somewhere. Assad, how can we find out if the listing is misbranded or not? Kindly tell us the key points and red flags. Look at the brand. right on the listing. Who do you got for the Super Bowl? Chiefs, Eagles, or hope both teams take the L? I don't really have a dog in this fight for the Super Bowl. I would imagine that the script is already written for the Chiefs, so they can have a three-peat. And I mean, I don't know. Whoever, I'm sure Taylor Swift has already taken care of that. All right. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. I got to run. I've got the OA challenge tonight. We got a big night. We will talk flip alert tomorrow, unless you guys have enough questions to go over tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a kick-ass Saturday. I will see you guys at 5:30 tomorrow. Have a great first night of the work weekend.